Hello and welcome to Henry Recommends, the show where I, disregarding Henry, recommend to you movies that I like and that you might like too. In this episode, I'd like to recommend Ana Lily Amirpour's sophomore effort, The Bad Batch, an audacious, criminally underrated, genre-defying work from the director that brought you A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. The Bad Batch takes place in a dystopian future where all social undesirables are banished to a barren wasteland outside Texas. Our protagonist, a young woman named Arlen, played by Suki Waterhouse, has just been sent there, and it doesn't take long before she's captured by cannibals and is witnessing her own arm and leg being hacked off, grilled, and eaten, learning all too quickly that in this unforgiving environment, survival is the only rule. The cannibals, by the way, are all bodybuilders because naturally they're the only ones with a steady access to protein, and among their ranks happens to be a talented artist named Miami Man, played by Jason Momoa, who watches protectively over his young daughter. Arlen manages to escape and finds a civilized oasis in this savage hell, a small community called Comfort, run by a sort of cult leader called The Dream, played by Keanu Reeves. While adjusting to the trauma of having lost 2 limbs, she stumbles upon one of her former captors outside Comfort one day and exacts her revenge, in the process inadvertently kidnapping Miami Man's daughter, who soon falls into the hands of The Dream. Miami Man will do anything to retrieve her, and Arlen, for some reason, just might be willing to risk losing the safety of Comfort to help him. In the midst of all this, a romance begins to bloom. The film balances several wildly different genres and tones to reveal Amirpour as an exceptionally skilled and supremely confident stylist. This is a spaghetti western to rival Sergio Leone himself, an exercise in cool that gives Jim Jarmusch a run for his money. And it even features an unrecognizable Jim Carrey in an uncredited role as a benevolent, wandering scavenger. There's very little spoken dialogue. Instead, Amirpour chooses to fill her canvas with hard looks and heavy silences, relying on the naturally compelling screen presence of her fantastic cast. She's also helped by some vivid photography and a wonderfully evocative soundtrack. This film is so richly atmospheric, one that, like many of my favorite films, such as Terry Gilliam's Brazil, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, or Andrei Tarkovsky's Solaris, is not so concerned with narrative. Rather, what it does is create a fully formed world up there on screen and transports us, allows us to step inside that world for a few hours. On that note though, this is definitely a film you have to be willing to give yourself over to. I was lucky enough to catch it on the cinema screen, where I was enveloped by the striking images and especially the hypnotic sound design. It's not to everyone's taste. Many have found it tedious and self-indulgent, but I think it's a masterfully assembled mood piece, violent, psychedelic, romantic, the work of a true original. The Bad Batch is currently streaming on Netflix, and I would say it's absolutely worth a look. Just be sure to watch it big and listen to it loud. That's why Henry recommends The Bad Batch. Sayonara.